Hey everybody, I am going to do hopefully a short tutorial on how to make a soft cover one journal pamphlet stitch naked journal that we were talking about at the Junk Trunk Treasures Facebook group. And so I've done a lot of these because I do a lot of writing and they're, for me, quick and easy to do. So I just wanted to see if I can get you guys some of the instructions that I do when I make mine. And here are three examples. You can see like this one it's actually a piece of painted paper, cardstock paper that's actually been lined. I did 2 pieces of cardstock paper to give it a thicker cover. I'm not sure if you guys can actually see this. Might go up a little bit higher, but it's just really, used for writing, and there's a variety of papers in here and stuff. This one actually doesn't have any tucks or anything like that in there, but it's got like 16, 17 pages or so, with a little pocket in the back and a little tuck spot in the front. So that's one example. Another example, this one, again, it's painted, I believe this is a folder paper, so it's a little thicker, but it's a good weight for a cover. Again, like little, pocket in the front, but I use it for writing like little recipes in. You can see like just random papers in here. And then again, this one isn't, because I write in it, I don't have a lot of tucks or pockets and things like that. But you can see the types of paper that are going in there. Another one, this one is actually a really pretty flocked cardstock, so it's got some texture to it. And then this one again, just basically is used for writing. So let me just show you what I do. So here's a piece of cardstock. It's actually a thicker piece of cardstock. You don't want one that's really thin. This example here is really pretty, but it's really thin. So the weight of the paper is really thin. It is a cardstock, but I would like double back this to make it a little bit sturdier. This one's a little thicker, just by design. Double-sided piece. So I cut this 8.5 by 11, like a normal sheet of paper. It was a 12-inch sheet, and I cut it down to 8.5 by 11. Folded it in the middle to make your book, your journal. And then I just cut random papers to fit inside the book. So you can cut because this is 8.5 by 11, anything that's about 8 1/4 wide and 10.5 across will fit into your book. I like mine random sizes, so some of mine are cut at 8 1/4 by 10.5. Some are a little less, and some are just like this sheet of paper is small enough without any, don't have to finagle it and cut it. And so then I've got 1, 2, just a variety of papers, 3, 4, 5. Now this one was a 12 by 12 that I folded in half. I stitched it on both ends, and you could use like glue or to glue it. But my intention is to actually fold this, and when I sew it into the signature, I've then got 2 pockets like this. So 10, or what was this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is again stitched here and here. I'm going to fold it and have tucks this way. 7, I forgot. I think I have about 15 or 16 sheets of paper in here. This is a piece of vellum that I would stick in there. This is typing or printer paper. Ledger type paper or scheduling paper, ledger paper. This is another piece of just, regular, decorated paper. This was from a music book, writing paper. So you see there's just a variety that I just pulled out of my stash. And then this is a piece of scrapbook paper. So I've already, you know, like some of them I didn't have to cut, some I cut down. And then what I would do is I would just go for each one and fold it. And you know, this one I'm going to have tucks at the top. Now I'm not super precise because if it's off a little bit, I don't really mind because I'm using, you know, just kind of like what I would call junky paper. So, you know, but I try to get them, you know, as even as I can when I'm folding. You can use a bone folder to make them really, really flat. A lot of times I just use my fingernail. Here's another, I like this green color. It's pretty. This one, I'm going to fold this direction. Now, if you had little, you know, cellophane bags or, you know, paper bags, you could put those in as one of your sheets of paper. I do that sometimes where I, you know, just have an extra little bag inside. Totally up to you. I have a bin of just kind of what I call my random papers. And so I will throw, you know, papers in there that are ready to go into a little journal. But I use these a lot. I really enjoy like writing, or, you know, like one is keeping little recipes that I try out, and sometimes I put a sad face because I don't like them. They don't taste good. Great. So, you know, basically that, and then I would be putting them together, layering them, just kind of getting them all even. So I'll put them in here like this. And then I actually will go back and flip through and see how I like them. Like if they're in the order that I like, I feel like they flow well, you know, aesthetically. And then also to see if they actually fit. Like if I have made a mistake, or let's see if I match this vellum to something that's a little about the same size. That's good. Sometimes they, you know, as you add more pages, they puff out a little bit. And so you might end up having to do a little bit of trim. I'll put that here. Here. Okay, so basically I tried to get them all very tightly pushed in there. Look good that way. And this would be my cover. I could put pockets in here. Normally I would put pockets in here before I actually sew it together. But in this case, just because I want to do this quickly, I just want to do a check to make sure that this fits, basically. It's a little, starts to pop out here towards the center. I can go in later and trim it. But what I would do now for the pamphlet stitch, there's a lot of tutorials on YouTube already about how to do the pamphlet stitch. For supplies, I actually have I have an awl that I use to poke my holes. I am, again, not somebody who measures where my holes will go. You can do that if you want them more precise. I basically try to make sure that everything is centered in my paper, and then I will poke 3 holes in here, one in the center and one on each end. And then you will need a needle that will go through your hole, and I'm using embroidery floss. Now, people have used regular thread. People use twine, you know, baker's twine, things like that. I like using this thread because it's easy and it's cheap. So, what I would do now, some people actually too will pin this together. I don't. Sometimes I would, like put a clip on this so they don't shift around. Basically, I'm going to hold my thumb on it, you know, squeezing it together like this. And the other thing I forgot to mention is sometimes you can use like a book to poke through, because you're going to poke your holes. You don't want to poke things, you know, I don't want to poke my table. I don't have protection on there right now. But, you know, you could do this, and I've really just kind of pushed the spine into the spine of this thick magazine. And then now I'm actually just going to, looks like the center, I'm going to poke a hole, twist, see if it's coming out the other side. Here, maybe about this, it's about 1.25 inches from the edge. Poked it there, 1.25 inches from the edge, maybe about there. It's not quite even, but okay. And then for the pamphlet stitch, I'm using thread that's about 2.5 the width of the book. I'm going to go through the center hole, pull my thread through. I go up through the top hole, and you can go through the top or bottom hole from the outside to the center. And then I can get this through here. Pull it a little bit more. There we go. I'm going to go down through the bottom hole. If you can see that, down through the bottom hole to the back. Pull it through. All right, so now we have the thread in the center. We have the top and the bottom. I'm going to go back through that center hole. I can do this without making a mess. All right, I got it through the center. It's a little off, but I think that's okay. Looks okay on the back. All right, that was stiff. Okay, and then now I have one of the threads is on one side of this line, one is on the other. Actually, we'll pull it a little bit to make sure it's taut. Tighten it up a little bit. And just pull gently on the threads. And then now I'm going to tie it in a square knot. So once, and then twice. You could tie it more if you'd like, but that's as good as you need. You could leave your thread longer if you want to actually attach something to the thread. Okay, let me move this out of the way, and this is it. You know, now it's ready to, you know, add tucks and pockets and things like that. But basically naked. The last thing I do is I'll go through and I'll, you know, go through each page and just really kind of force down the spine, and that kind of sets your pages. So I'll go through each one of these and just run my finger down each side. Just go front, back if you'd like. And it just really helps your pages to lay flat. So anyway, I hope that was helpful. And then that it has given you some ideas. And looking forward to a swap.